celebrity car collections usually start feeling repetitive after a while. Another Ferrari, another rare convertible, another perfectly restored muscle car sitting under soft lighting while nobody actually drives it. Clint Eastwood's collection feels different, partly because the cars reflect the same personality people saw in his films: quiet confidence, mechanical honesty, no unnecessary attention-seeking, and underneath everything, a strange respect for machines that survived hard lives. Some of the cars inside his garage are unbelievably valuable now, but many were purchased long before collectors treated them like financial assets. Certain vehicles were bought simply because Eastwood liked driving them. Others reminded him of old California roads, film productions, friends, mechanics, or moments from earlier parts of his life. And unlike many celebrity collections, some of these cars still carry imperfections. Worn steering wheels, slight paint cracks, old leather dried gently by decades of sunlight, tiny mechanical quirks owners simply learn to live with instead of fixing completely. That texture matters, because the rarest cars in Clint Eastwood's collection do not feel preserved like museum objects. They still feel connected to people. Number 10. 1955. Jaguar XK140. The XK140 reflects the period before Clint Eastwood became internationally famous. Long before major Hollywood success, he admired European sports cars because they felt lighter and more mechanical than many heavy American sedans of the time. The XK140 especially appealed to drivers who enjoyed actual road feel instead of isolated luxury. And this particular Jaguar still carries signs of age, honestly. The leather smells old in the specific way vintage British interiors often do: fuel, carpet glue, aging wood, and damp wool hidden deep inside the cabin during colder weather. The steering remains heavier than modern drivers expect. Cold starts require patience, but the car still feels alive. Its straight-six engine produces a smooth mechanical sound completely different from large American V8s nearby. Long hood, thin steering wheel, narrow cabin. Everything about it reminds drivers that sports cars once demanded physical involvement instead of electronic assistance. Eastwood reportedly kept the Jaguar largely because it reminded him of California before Hollywood fully changed around him. Number 9. 1972 Ferrari Dino 246 GTS. The Dino feels smaller in person than most people expect. Parked beside modern exotic cars, it almost disappears physically, but that compact size becomes part of its charm immediately. The low roofline, curved fenders, and delicate proportions feel far more human than modern hypercars obsessed with aggression. Eastwood reportedly preferred the Dino partly because it avoided showing off too much. And honestly, that fits him perfectly. The V6 engine sounds sharp and eager behind the cabin, but older Ferraris like this also carried frustrations owners rarely mention publicly. Cabin heat becomes exhausting during traffic. The shifter feels stubborn until fully warmed. Older Italian electrical systems behave unpredictably after enough years. But people forgive these flaws because the car feels emotional at ordinary speeds. The interior still carries that unmistakable vintage Ferrari smell too, leather mixed with warm oil and old adhesive slowly baked by sunlight over decades. Some cars become valuable because they are rare. Others become valuable because they still make people feel something. The Dino belongs in the second category. Number 8. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454. The Chevelle feels brutally simple compared with many European cars in Eastwood's collection. Huge hood, massive torque, heavy doors, thick steering wheel, nothing delicate about it. And honestly, that straightforward personality probably explains why so many American drivers still love old muscle cars. This particular SS 454 reportedly remains mostly unrestored underneath. Small paint imperfections still exist. Tiny scratches around the trunk opening suggest actual use instead of trailer transport. Even the driver's seat carries slight wear patterns from years of entering and exiting the car naturally. The giant big block V8 defines the entire experience. At idle, the whole car vibrates gently through the steering column and floorboards. Fuel economy becomes almost laughable by modern standards. Summer heat rolls through the firewall during slow traffic, and yet the car still feels deeply satisfying mechanically. Push the throttle and the nose rises slightly while the engine delivers massive low-end torque without effort. The Chevelle never pretends to be refined. That honesty became its personality. Number 7. 1932 Ford Roadster. Few vehicles carry more emotional weight in American car culture than a 1932 Ford hot rod. Eastwood's Roadster reportedly reflects old California hot rodding culture before it became commercialized and polished for television. Small garages, homemade modifications, weekend drag strips, weld marks hidden beneath old paint. And the car still feels raw. Wind enters the cabin constantly. The suspension rides harshly compared with modern cars. Long drives become tiring quickly. The steering reacts aggressively to rough pavement. But none of that matters much once the flathead 5.8 starts running. Older hot rods like this feel mechanical in a direct physical way modern performance cars rarely do anymore. Heat rises through the floorboards, exhaust noise fills the cabin. The engine sounds busy even at moderate speed. Certain cars make drivers feel detached from the road. This one does the opposite. Number 6. 1967 Pontiac GTO. The GTO sits somewhere between ordinary transportation and pure American excess. Big chrome bumpers, hood scoops, wide stance, enough torque to overwhelm skinny period tires almost accidentally. And Eastwood's example reportedly remains unusually original. Older interiors often reveal the truth about classic cars better than exterior paint ever can. The GTO still carries small details. Many restorations erase completely worn pedal surfaces, tiny scratches near ignition switches, faded lettering on climate controls. Evidence of use? The cabin also smells unmistakably late 1960s American. Vinyl. Fuel. Dust trapped deep beneath carpeting after decades of California heat. The big V8 defines everything else. At idle, the exhaust note sounds relaxed, almost lazy, then suddenly violent once throttle opens deeply. Older muscle cars like the GTO always carried contradictions like that. Comfortable highway cruisers one moment, tire-smoking chaos the next. And drivers love them for exactly that reason. Number 5. 1957 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. The Eldorado Brougham feels less like transportation and more like a rolling idea of American luxury from another era. Open the doors and the interior almost seems oversized compared with modern cars. Thick seats, stainless trim, massive steering wheel, even the dashboard controls feel dramatic physically. And this car contains details modern luxury vehicles would never include again. Magnetic glove box, factory perfume atomizer, power features moving slowly with soft electric sounds. Older Cadillacs made uniquely their own, but age changes these cars in strange ways. Old suspension systems sag slightly after decades. Door seals dry out. Certain chrome pieces become almost impossible to replace correctly. The cabin develops a mixture of leather, insulation, dust, and aging fabric that instantly places you inside mid-century America. Eastwood reportedly appreciated cars like this because they represented a very specific California-era large boulevards, Giant American sedans, and a kind of confidence automotive design no longer really attempts. Number 4. 1961 Lincoln Continental convertible. The Lincoln feels heavy before it even starts moving. Heavy doors, heavy steering, heavy controls. Everything operates with deliberate mechanical weight. But once moving, the car settles into a calm rhythm that still makes sense on long roads today. This generation of Continental became deeply associated with American political and cultural history, but Eastwood reportedly admired it more for its restraint than its fame. Compared with giant finned cars from the 1950s, the Continental looked cleaner and more disciplined, almost architectural. The convertible top mechanism alone feels fascinating mechanically. Huge electric motors raise and lower massive metal sections slowly while relays click deep inside the car. And old convertibles always carry certain realities owners remember clearly: wind noise, water leaks during storms, rear windows fogging unexpectedly during colder mornings. Modern luxury cars hide imperfections carefully. Older luxury cars simply expected owners to tolerate them. Number 3. 1968 Ford Mustang GT Fastback. The Mustang matters partly because audiences connect it immediately to Eastwood's era of filmmaking. Long hood, deep exhaust note, manual transmission. The kind of car that still looks correct parked beneath old neon signs or dusty California gas stations. And unlike heavily restored auction examples, Eastwood's Fastback reportedly still shows subtle evidence of age naturally. Tiny stone chips, slight wrinkles in older seat material, small imperfections around trim edges. Nothing excessive, just enough to remind people the car actually existed outside climate-controlled garages. The V8 delivers the kind of sound modern turbocharged engines struggle to reproduce emotionally. Not refined, not efficient, just mechanical and physical. Older Mustangs also carried flaws people forget today. Weak brakes compared with modern standards. Loose steering. Cabins growing hot during traffic. But drivers forgave these things because the cars felt exciting, even at ordinary speeds. And honestly, that emotional simplicity probably explains why vintage Mustangs still attract people decades later. Number 2. 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing. Few cars feel more dramatic physically than the Gullwing. Even entering the cabin becomes an event because the doors cut upward into the roof itself. Older owners learned strange routines climbing inside gracefully without hitting knees or elbows against the sill. And the car still smells unmistakably mechanical inside. Fuel, leather, metal warmed by engine heat. Older German interiors carried a seriousness modern luxury cars sometimes lack completely. The engineering remains fascinating too. Mechanical fuel injection, tubular space frame construction, lightweight bodywork, everything designed around performance rather than comfort. But older exotic cars also demanded patience. The cabin becomes extremely hot after longer drives. Steering feels heavy at low speed. The ride remains stiff and busy over rough roads. And yet people still fall in love with Gullwings almost immediately, because the car feels important the second you stand beside it. Number 1. 1964 Ferrari 250 GT Lusso. The Lusso might be the most emotionally beautiful car inside Clint Eastwood's collection. Not aggressive, not flashy, just balanced in a way very few cars ever achieved. The proportions remain almost perfect. Long hood, short rear deck, delicate greenhouse, everything flowing naturally without looking forced. And the Colombo V12 changes the entire atmosphere once running. Older Ferrari engines never sounded smooth in the modern sense. They sound mechanical, metallic, alive. At idle, the Lusso almost seems restless, like the car dislikes standing still too long. The interior feels intimate rather than luxurious. Thin pillars, large steering wheel. Leather carrying decades of age naturally instead of artificial restoration perfection. Eastwood reportedly kept the Lusso partly because it reminded him that beautiful machines do not need to shout for attention. And honestly, that idea probably explains his entire collection. The rarest cars inside Clint Eastwood's garage are valuable partly because of rarity, but mostly because they still carry personality. Some smell old, some leak slightly, some require patience during cold starts. Others become exhausting in traffic compared with modern vehicles. But those flaws help them feel human. And maybe that is why Eastwood's collection feels more believable than many celebrity garages filled only with untouched investment pieces. These cars still sound mechanical, still behave imperfectly, still carry traces of the people who drove them long before auction prices transformed old automobiles into financial assets. Here at Vintage Vehicle X-Ray, we look beyond horsepower numbers and collector value to remember how old machines actually felt around people. The sounds, smells, frustrations, repairs, and small memories that turn transportation into something personal. Thank you for spending time with us and for continuing to appreciate the strange, imperfect, unforgettable machines that still carry pieces of automotive history with them long after the roads around them changed completely.